And performing this monologue is H. Sheldon Wright.
The Piano Lesson, Act 1, Scene 2. Boy Willie. Now, I'm going to tell you the way I see it. The only thing that make that piano worth something is them carvings Papa Willie boy put on there. That's what make it worth something. That was my great-granddaddy. Papa boy Charles brought that piano into the house. Now, I'm supposed to build on what they left for me. You can't do nothing with that piano sitting up here in the house. That's just like if I let them watermelons sit out there and rot. I'd be a fool. All right now, if you say to me, Boy Willie, I'm using that piano. I give out lessons on it, and that helped me make my rent or whatever, then that'd be something else. I'd have to go on and say, well, Bernice using that piano. She builded on it. Let her go on ahead and use it. I gotta find another way to get Sutter's land. But Doka say you ain't touched that piano the whole time it's been up in here. So why you want to stand in my way? See, you just looking at the sentimental value. That's all right. I take my hat off whenever anybody say my daddy's name. But I ain't gonna be no fool about no sentimental value. You can sit up here and look at that piano all you want for the next 100 years, and it's just gonna be a piano. You can't make it more than that. Now, I want to get Sutter's land with that piano. I get Sutter's land and I can go down and cash in the crop and get my seed. As long as I got the land and the seed, well, I'm all right. I can always get me a little something else, because that land get back to you. I can make another crop and cash that in. I still got the land and the seed. But that piano don't put out nothing else. You ain't got nothing working for you. Now, the kind of man my daddy was, he would have understood that. I'm sorry you can't see it that way. But that's why I'm going to take that piano out of here and sell it.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Thank you, Sheldon. Thank you so much for bringing that to life in your own unique personal way. And there are a lot of personal connections. There are many personal connections that you have with August Wilson, with all of his plays, really. Do you want to share a little bit about that, Sheldon? So it's something to feel really good about. And what a beautiful job. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you, Mo. And yeah, it's the play from 1987 by August Wilson, as you mentioned. It's the fourth play in the 10-play cycle, mostly centered around Pittsburgh's Hill District, which is a working class African-American neighborhood. It's set in the mid-1930s during the Great Depression. And we were inside of the Doker home. There's a piano in the living room, and it was being discussed by the two siblings, Bernice and Boy Willie. So the piano has carvings on it, which were created by an enslaved ancestor and was passed down through the generations. So in effect, the way I have understood it over the years is that the piano lesson tries to kind of inquire, what are you going to do with your legacy? So to your point about my connections, I'd say I have 4 connections to this production. This is my favorite of the 10 plays. So first of all, my paternal grandfather, James Wright, originally from Yazoo City, Mississippi, made the trek north to Pittsburgh during the Great Migration, which is an underlying feature of the play. James met and later married my grandmother, Sarah Eva Bruce, in 1918. 2, Eva Bruce. She lived in the Hill District with her family, where the piano lesson, of course, was set. In fact, there's lots of Bruces that are still in Pittsburgh.
I love that.
One of their 5 children was my father, Howard. who met my mother, Barbara Bowman, in Pasadena, California, in church in 1950. They married 2 years later, had my sister, Sandra, and me, the second of two children. Now, number three would be my mother, Barbara, who was a music major in college and a piano teacher in our home for many years. In fact, she taught
Uh-huh.
on this piano. I was not her best student. And finally, number four, Evan, my son. In fact, you can't see it that well, but there's a picture of him over on the wall with the light. And Evan, like his grandmother, is an accomplished musician and composer. And so is his uncle, Sylvester Rivers, his mother's brother. This particular piano doesn't have any carvings, but I am handing it down to Evan. I bought his sister Allison her first car to make things fair. So for these reasons and more, the piano lesson, it resonates with me so much. Thank you.
Thank you, Sheldon. And because it resonates with you, it now resonates with us.